Right now, Florida's unemployment rate sits at 4.7%. That's higher than the national rate of 4.2%. For the first time in years, the Sunshine State is technically running behind the rest of the country on paper. But that headline number is hiding something enormous. Underneath it, Florida still posted over 427,000 open jobs in a single month, with a job opening rate outpacing the nation. And buried inside that flood of openings is one metro area nobody puts on a list. Not Miami, not Tampa, not even Orlando, which is currently one of the fastest growing job markets in the entire country. This is a small, quiet corner of the state that most people associate with rockets and retirees, not paychecks. But right now, it is producing some of the highest wage growth in Florida, built on an industry most residents drive past every day without realizing what's happening behind the fences. We're counting down the 10 Florida places with the hottest job markets heading into 2026. Stick around, because the place at number 1 is going to surprise you. Before we get into the list, if you're into the real numbers behind where Florida's economy is actually headed, not just the headlines, hit subscribe. We break down job markets, growth trends, and the cities nobody's talking about yet, regularly. All right, let's start at number 10. Number 10. Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, and Destin, tucked along Florida's northwest coastline. As of May 2026, total employment in this metro area reached 133,600 workers, an increase of 400 jobs over the previous year. The percentage gain looks modest at first glance, just 0.3%, but the story is in which industries are driving it. Professional and business services jobs grew 3.3% here, the second fastest pace of any metro area in the entire state for that category. Leisure and hospitality employment climbed 5.6%, also ranking among the top 3 statewide. The engine behind this growth is defense. Eglin Air Force Base and Hurlburt Field anchor a regional economy built on military contracting, engineering, and technical support work. As Department of Defense spending keeps flowing into the Panhandle, private contractors keep expanding their local footprints to service it. It's not a flashy market, but for skilled technical workers, it's quietly one of the more stable job climates in the state. Number 9. Port St. Lucie on the Treasure Coast. This city has been one of the fastest growing municipalities in the entire country for several years running, and its job market is finally catching up to its population boom. The centerpiece is healthcare. Cleveland Clinic operates 5 hospitals and 33 outpatient facilities across its Florida region, and its Port St. Lucie footprint alone, through Cleveland Clinic Tradition Hospital and the broader Martin Health System, currently lists hundreds of open positions at any given time. Pay here ranges widely depending on role, from entry-level clinical support positions in the $50,000 range up to specialized medical roles paying well into 6 figures, with some listings showing average annual compensation above $150,000 for advanced positions. What makes Port St. Lucie interesting isn't just the raw number of openings, it's the pattern. As thousands of new residents move to the Treasure Coast every year, healthcare demand grows automatically, and that demand is now pulling in nurses, technicians, physicians, and administrative staff faster than most people realize. Number 8. Cape Coral and Fort Myers in Southwest Florida. This metro area is rebuilding, and rebuilding creates jobs. Construction and skilled trades employment climbed 2.6% over the year, adding roughly 1,100 positions, much of it tied to ongoing recovery work after recent storm seasons. Construction management roles here now regularly list compensation above $140,000 a year, driven directly by the volume of infrastructure and housing projects underway. Healthcare is the other major driver. Education and health services employment in Cape Coral and Fort Myers was tied for the second fastest growth rate of any metro area in Florida, climbing roughly 6% over the year. The average hourly wage across the metro area now sits at $28.87 according to federal wage data. Not every sector here is thriving. Leisure and hospitality actually lost jobs over the same period, down more than 5%. But between the rebuild and the healthcare expansion, Cape Coral and Fort Myers is proving that a local economy can absorb a rough season and still come out hiring. Number 7. Gainesville, home to the University of Florida. Most people think of Gainesville as a college town, What they don't realize is that it has quietly become one of the most important biotechnology hubs in the Southeast. The University of Florida generates over $1.26 billion in annual research spending, and a huge share of that research turns into actual companies. Just north of campus, the Alachua Progress District now hosts major life science employers, including RTI Surgical, National Resilience, and Thermo Fisher Scientific, each employing hundreds of workers. The Sid Martin Biotech Incubator alone has helped launch more than 60 companies since it opened, contributing an estimated $25 billion in cumulative economic impact. Pay in this sector isn't small either. Biotechnology roles in Gainesville currently average around $40 an hour, translating to roughly $85,000 a year, well above the typical wage for the region. Add in an expanding innovation district backed by new private development, and Gainesville looks less like a sleepy college town and more like a research economy hiding in plain sight. Number 6, Pensacola, all the way at the western edge of the Panhandle. Two announcements in 2026 changed the trajectory of this city's job market. First, shipbuilder Burden confirmed plans for a new 400,000 square foot advanced manufacturing facility at the Port of Pensacola, backed by a state grant request worth $76 million. The project is expected to create around 2,000 jobs, with roughly 1,400 positions averaging $68,000 a year, and another 560 positions averaging $112,000 a year. The facility will build naval vessels, submarine modules, and surface ships up to 400 feet long. Second, the sailing team behind an America's Cup campaign opened a $21 million headquarters at the same port, adding around 170 jobs, averaging over $100,000 annually. None of this happens in a vacuum. Navy Federal Credit Union already employs close to 10,000 people on its 440-acre Pensacola campus, making it the largest private sector employer in the entire region. Between defense contracting, shipbuilding, and financial services, Pensacola has quietly assembled one of the most diverse, high-wage job bases in Northwest Florida. Number 5. Jacksonville, Florida's largest city by population. As of June 2026, non-agricultural employment in the Jacksonville metro area reached 800,300 workers, an increase of 2,600 jobs over the year. The growth rate itself, 0.3%, isn't the headline. The composition is: education and health services employment grew 4.8% here, one of the strongest gains of any sector in any Florida metro area this year. Professional and business services followed at 2% growth, and manufacturing climbed 1.4%, both outpacing statewide averages. Jacksonville also posted the fastest annual job growth rate in the state within its other services category. As a major port city and a growing base for banking, insurance, and logistics operations, Jacksonville continues to diversify away from any single industry. That diversification is exactly why it keeps adding jobs even during years when other large metro areas slow down. Number 4, Lakeland, sitting almost exactly between Tampa and Orlando along the I-4 corridor. Geography is Lakeland's superpower. Its position along Florida's central logistics spine has turned it into one of the busiest distribution hubs in the state. Amazon operates multiple fulfillment and delivery facilities in the area, alongside a growing list of third-party logistics companies handling everything from furniture repair to hazardous materials shipping. Warehouse and logistics wages here trend higher than people expect. Entry-level warehouse roles average around $16 an hour, while specialized logistics and operations positions connected to major employers now average closer to $72,000 a year. New listings for engineering, reliability, and mechatronics roles inside these facilities keep appearing as automation expands across the sector. Lakeland doesn't get the attention that bigger metro names attract, but its location gives it a permanent structural advantage. Any company trying to reach both coasts of Florida quickly ends up looking at property along this exact stretch of interstate. And every new warehouse means another wave of hiring. Number 3, Ocala, in the heart of Central Florida. A few years ago, Ocala earned the #1 ranking nationally for 12-month job growth among the 200 largest metro areas in the country, according to the Milken Institute. The momentum since then hasn't slowed down. The reason is simple. Ocala sits at the intersection of 4 of Florida's 6 major trucking routes, meaning roughly 70% of all truck traffic in the state passes directly through the region. That geography turned Ocala into a magnet for distribution centers. FedEx Ground's local hub is on track to become the largest processing facility in the entire FedEx system, capable of handling 70,000 packages an hour. Amazon, Chewy, AutoZone, and Dollar Tree have all built major distribution operations here as well. Combined, the logistics sector now employs more than 7,000 workers in Marion County alone. Add in major employers like AdventHealth, HCA Florida, and Lockheed Martin, and current annual job growth sits around 2.3%, with projected growth over the next decade estimated at an extraordinary 37.6%. For a city most people associate with horse farms, that number is almost hard to believe. Number 2. Orlando. And yes, this one might seem obvious, but the actual numbers behind it are more extreme than most people realize. According to the latest University of Central Florida economic forecast, Orlando's employment is projected to grow 1.3% in 2026 alone. That's well above Florida's statewide rate of 0.8% and more than double the national rate of 0.5%. Here's the part that actually surprises economists. Over the next decade, Orlando is projected to add more total jobs than Miami, a metro area with roughly twice Orlando's population. It's also projected to outpace Tampa and Jacksonville combined. Even during a period when national employment growth is cooling significantly, Orlando keeps outperforming almost every comparable market in the country. This isn't just tourism anymore, even though hospitality remains a massive employer. Technology, healthcare, and simulation and training industries connected to the region's defense and aerospace research base have all expanded Orlando's economic identity well beyond theme parks. It earns its place at number 2, but it is not the surprise of this list. Number 1, and this is the place nobody expected. Palm Bay and Melbourne, together known as Florida's Space Coast. Ask most Floridians what happens in Brevard County and they'll mention rockets, maybe the beaches. What they won't mention is that this quiet, unassuming metro area has become one of the highest concentration job markets for advanced engineering and defense manufacturing anywhere in the country. L3 Harris Technologies is headquartered in Melbourne, anchoring a cluster of defense and aerospace companies that stretches across the entire county. Northrop Grumman operates a major campus here. Lockheed Martin supports launch operations and missile defense programs from facilities across Brevard County. SpaceX conducts regular launches from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station and Kennedy Space Center, both within commuting distance of Melbourne and Palm Bay. In July 2026, Extant Aerospace broke ground on a new manufacturing facility in Melbourne worth more than $75 million, spanning over 376,000 square feet. The project is expected to grow the company's local workforce from around 250 employees to more than 450 once fully operational, adding roughly 200 new positions almost overnight. Statewide, Florida is now home to over 17,000 aerospace-related companies, contributing more than $19 billion in annual revenue, according to Space Florida. Nowhere in the state is that industry more concentrated, more entrenched, and more actively hiring than right here on the Space Coast. And the pay reflects it. As of mid-2026, the average salary for space industry professional roles in Melbourne sits at $69,390 a year, with experienced engineers and technicians earning between $52,000 and $81,000 annually, and specialized positions climbing well beyond that. Nationally, aerospace engineering employment is projected to grow 6% between 2023 and 2033, faster than the average for all occupations. On the Space Coast, that national trend isn't a forecast. It's already happening, facility by facility, groundbreaking by groundbreaking. This is why Palm Bay and Melbourne take the number 1 spot, not because it's the biggest metro area, not because it's the most talked about, but because behind the launch pads and the palm trees, this is where Florida is quietly building one of the most advanced, highest-paying job markets in the entire country, and almost nobody outside the industry is talking about it. Florida's job market in 2026 is a story of contrasts. A statewide unemployment rate technically running above the national average, sitting right next to metro areas producing some of the strongest wage and hiring growth anywhere in the country. From the logistics corridors of Lakeland and Ocala, to the healthcare expansion reshaping the Treasure Coast, to the defense and aerospace engine quietly powering the Space Coast, Florida's next wave of opportunity isn't concentrated in the cities getting all the attention. It's happening in the places nobody expected to look. Thanks for watching all the way through. If this list changed how you think about Florida's job market, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. Drop a comment and let us know. Which city on this list surprised you the most? We read everyone. Until next time, we'll keep digging past the headlines to find where the real opportunity is hiding. See you in the next video.